I feel like I've come out many times, as most queer people probably have.
My coming out story is not a good one.
My coming out story is a strange one. I kind of had two coming outs.
Basically, I met a gentleman on Grindr. We went for a couple dates. It went well, and I suddenly showed up at Skylight, a local nightclub at the time, with another boy and was dancing with him. And all my friends, that was their first interaction of, is he gay? And that was my coming out story to my friends. It was very simple. All the guys said, is Rami gay? All the girls said, have you not figured this out yet?
I first came out to myself when I was, I think, about 7, and I was watching Young and the Restless, and I was watching the man and the woman kiss on the screen, and realizing that I felt something for the woman and not the man.
I knew from a very young age, looking back now, I liked girls since I was little, but I absolutely knew if I came out that it was not going to be a good thing. So I was like, I just have to make it to university. I just have to make it till I'm 18. Then I can get out of the house and I can, come out and be queer and date my girlfriend.
I eventually told all my friends, and they were shocked because I don't, at the time at least, I didn't come across as what they perceived as a stereotype gay guy. And they received me pretty well, which was shocking. But it was really hard for me to say the words out loud.
The first time I ever actually said out loud, I'm a lesbian, I'm gay, was to my sister. And then I remember her instantly stopping and just staring at me. And she said, Mom and Dad are going to kill you. And then it wasn't, of course, your classic lesbian coming out story. It wasn't until I hit college, and I lost friends then as a result, which didn't surprise me, but I was actually shocked at the number of them that just literally just disappeared. So it was sort of like starting all over again.
Had met up with my then girlfriend and we were holding hands down the street. And all of a sudden we hear tires revving and screeching. My biological mom had driven down the same street and she said, just wait until I tell your dad, you're not welcome home. Yeah, and 2 weeks later, I was in foster care. My mom called me one last time to tell me that my dad had thrown everything out into the landfill. I had no belongings, so not to come home. And that's my coming out story.
I don't really want to say that I went back into the closet, but I did end up having a girlfriend for 8 years, and we got together, and she knew I had come out. We had a lovely relationship, but then 8 years later, it ended, and then I really knew what I wanted, and that was difficult because that meant that it was true, like telling your parents that you're coming out. And I was 33, I believe, at the time, and they had a hard time hearing those words, but they did a really great job learning and accepting. And after I had come out properly to them, my relationship with them years later has been better than I'd ever had. They needed to know for us to be a stronger family.
Transition to my family. My mother was not that supportive at the time. Her religious beliefs also being Middle Eastern, like I'm a first generation Canadian. They were born in a country that if you're gay, you got killed. Like to this day, you still get killed. So for her, it was more of a, is this the right decision for you? Do you think that you should be gay? It kind of did drift us apart for a few years. But I think for her, it was a realization that that's just who I was. And over time, we were able to kind of rebuild that relationship. And like now, if I come for family dinners, the first question is, where's your boyfriend? Why isn't he here with us?
And my advice would be to do it at your pace. I really feel like people can't be like pushed out of the closet. I was pushed out of the closet. And so for me, people coming out really needs to be their story and at their time. And they need to see it and they need to like feel really comfortable with themselves in order to do it. And we are here and we're waiting for you. As soon as you're ready, you have people that are waiting for you to welcome you.
At the time being, I think it was 21, when I finally told my parents, I took it pretty hard. I couldn't kind of rationalize what was occurring to me. It was just my parents didn't accept me. What am I doing here? It was hard. It was difficult. probably shaped a lot of my current relationships with my family to an extent. Again, we're close, but it's always in the back of your head. You always remember it. It's something you don't forget.
Give people a moment, especially if it's your family, to let it sit with them and then have a discussion with them. Let them learn and let them catch up to where you are at.
I was with my cousin and her 14-year-old son. He's like, oh, one of my best friends on the bus ride, she came out as a lesbian. And my reaction was, oh, that's interesting. Like, how are people responding to that? And the utter confusion on his face was, I don't understand the question. And I caught myself in this moment of, oh, he's confused because I'm confused, because in some places we have made progress. And so it was a little moment of hope for me that that was his response, because 15 years ago, that was not the experience, right?